What's up, everybody? Welcome to Kinda Funny Games Daily for Friday. Yes, you made it. November 17th, 2017. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside Portillo the Wiener Dog and the pure one at Tim Geddes.
Let Tim host. They said that there's never been 3 hosts on Kinda Funny Games Daily before. Today, that changes.
Now they can shove it up their ass. Everybody, wake up, Guinness World Records. Mm-hmm. We got one set.
We got one.
Yeah,
we out
finally,
here.
Yeah, that's what it's going to be. Tim, how the hell are you?
I am very, very.
What
very
are you going to play this fine weekend? I cannot wait for this fucking weekend to play some games. Jen, I'm not talking to you all week long or weekend long, just playing games.
Yeah, I want to play a bit of the Battlefront multiplayer because I didn't really get to jump into that. I only did the single player.
Spoilers, that's going to be in the news.
Yeah,
some
really?
Battlefront
Who would have thought?
Thoughts and impressions coming up.
Yeah, I want to play a bit more of that, and then obviously, a little bit more of that Mario. Got to get them moons. Moons
Do you
on
now?
moons on moons.
I'm just letting it simmer, the moons.
Me
You know
too.
what I mean?
That's cool. We have forever, man.
We do.
We do.
We have forever together.
Yes.
That's what I like a lot about it. I'm gonna play Destiny. It's double XP weekend with the clan, so I can knock that Warlock trophy out. No problem, no trouble.
Yes,
You know what I
right.
mean? No sweat at all.
Rewind that one a bit.
Tim spending a weekend with the clan. Y'all know what we mean. We ain't doing that racist shit. I want to put more into Call of Duty too. I think that is where I'm gonna put it. But I want to talk about Battlefront in terms of the fact that I wanted to play the single player up until we recorded the Gamescast.
Rocket League. That's what I want to play.
Rocket League Switch.
Yes.
Rocket League Switch.
Haven't touched it yet.
Thanks for cutting me off.
Sorry.
That's fine.
I was thinking.
My thoughts on my Battlefront conundrum will come up later when we're talking about single player campaign later in the questions. But for now, it's my duty to remind you this is the Kinda Funny Games Daily Show. Not the title. Not at all. I'll tell you what. You want to know the thought process on that one? A burp was right around here.
And you were thinking
and it was
about
like, do I have time to
get it out
stop and burp quietly? Do I have time to struggle through it? Struggle through it, but then it just started. It threw the switches all wrong in the head. This is Kinda Funny Games Daily. Each and every weekday on a variety of platforms, we run you through the nerdy video game news you need to know about. Before giving you perspective, answering your questions, reading your bad PSN names, and having a good time with you, the Kinda Funny best friends. If you like that, please head over to patreon.com/kindafunnygames. Toss us a few bucks. Tell us we're doing a good job. Also, remember, you can watch it live on twitch.tv/kindafunnygames. If you're watching it live, it's your job to keep us honest by going to kindafunny.com/you're wrong. There, give us the facts we screw up so at the end of the show, we can set the record straight for everyone listening later on youtube.com/kindafunnygames or podcast services around the globe. If you want to be part of the show, it's super simple. kindafunny.com/KFGD. That's where you send your questions, your comments, your concerns, just the facts, ma'am. On kindafunny.com/you're wrong. I don't want your editorializing bullshit. Go there, read Capitalist Pigs information, and that's how you should do it.
I'm a little distracted right now, Greg. You got some fancy pants.
Guys, I'm not gonna lie. I haven't looked this good in a long time. And now here's where we need to get out in front of it right away. This is not an ad. Our lives are complicated. Because what happened is we did have a sponsorship from Stitch Fix, and we told you to go to stitchfix.com/Greggy, which I believe still works and gets you whatever the discount was.
Probably.
Who knows? They gave me the free try. They gave me the one free package, and I liked it so much I signed up and stuck around. What'd you say?
I was singing an Imagine Dragons song.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know that well enough to help you. So I'm wearing now. I paid for this out of my own pocket. At no point was this is not a sponsorship thing. But yeah, I'm wearing.
And now your
wearing
pockets
blue.
are even fancier than they used to be.
I'm wearing the.
You're
blue.
wearing these red.
Look at these red pants.
Almost suede pants.
Take them off.
Feel it.
Almost suede.
Yeah.
Nick, come feel how this feels.
Let me tell you one thing right now. These are Bernard Ho pants.
Bernard.
These are holy shit. He's right.
These are Bernard Ho pants.
They're power play pants.
For the 99% of you who don't remember Bernard Ho, who used to run IGN video
business operations, aka boss bitch.
It's a fun Friday show. Sorry, guys. Housekeeping for you, of course. Remember, right now over on patreon.com/kindafunnygames, you can get my interview with Andy Serkis. We talk about Planet of the Apes, Last Frontier. You can get it, of course, for free next week. Tuesday, I'm going to put that one up on youtube.com/kindafunnygames. Also, remember that it's your duty right now to help us bring home the victory for Andrea Renee. I need you all to Google Trending Gamer Vote.
Trending Gamer Vote.
You can vote once every 24 hours. I'm doing mine right there. Submit vote. Bam, I voted for Andrea for today. Everyone do that each and every day, please. Let's win it for her like you did for us. I can't tell you how much winning Trending Gamer of the Year 2015 meant for me. On top of being a professional accolade I never ever thought I would get, I definitely put Kinda Funny on the map in a way that really end cap, put a great exclamation point on what an amazing year 2015 was for Kind of Funny, and I'd like to do that for her and What's Good Games, let alone just Andrea's career that involves working with us, which is cool.
And I definitely think it's possible.
I apologize.
What's wrong?
I took him off your lap. He wants to be back on your lap.
Thank you very much, Nick. Sorry. Portillo problems.
I think we can do this because we can vote once a day. I think if everyone out there voted once a day,
if
it'd
you
be
just
ours.
do it with us each and every day. You already voted today, right?
Yes, I did.
There you go, Bob.
Every morning I wake up, bam.
I'm going to do it on the show every morning to remind people in housekeeping to really make this a segment annoying. Anyways, let's begin the show with what is and forever will be the Roper Report. Time for some news. 4 items on the Roper Report.
A baker's dozen.
I gotta say, Andy's only been gone a couple hours, but I missed the fact that the other day he came in, he played the Roper Report jingle on his guitar.
He did?
Yeah,
Oh, that's
into the
cool.
microphone. It's pretty dope.
He's so cool.
Feelings, dude.
No, it's not. Well, how do you think I feel? Andrea and Gary do one show without me, and everybody's on the Reddit's like, oh man, Andrea should host every day. It's like, all right, guys, we're here. You know what
We're
I mean?
humans too, Kevin.
You know, Mom and Dad got divorced. Mom only comes by
Are we
once
humans?
in a while.
Or are we dancers?
This is a Friday fun
Sorry.
show. First story is Battlefront 2 has dropped microtransactions, at least momentarily. They put out this statement. This is from the general manager at DICE, who's I respect enough not to even try. I can get this. Oscar is how we'd say it. Gabrielson. Anyways, Oscar. Maybe just Oscar. Says, as we approach the worldwide launch, it's clear that many of you feel there are still challenges in the design. We've heard the concerns about potentially giving players unfair advantages, and we've heard that this is overshadowing an otherwise great game. This was never our intention. Sorry we didn't get this right. We hear you loud and clear, so we're turning off all in-game purchases. We will now spend more time listening, adjusting, balancing, and tuning. This means that the option to purchase crystals in the game is now offline, and all progression will be earned through gameplay. The ability to purchase crystals in-game will become available at a later date, only after we've made changes to the game. We'll share more details as we work through this. Oscar Gabrielson, General Manager at DICE. Tim, thoughts?
I think that this is a very complicated, layered situation. I
like
think
an
at the end of it is a very onion-like situation and ordeal. At the end of the day, great. This is awesome. They've listened. Where the problems and layers come in is the bullying aspects and the death threats and this and that. And I feel where this gets complicated is the fact that you can't boil it down into there's EA and then the people. The people represent so many different groups and so many people handle things very differently. The conversations we have on this show, the conversations that you guys have in the different Facebook groups and in comment sections on Reddit, on Star Wars forums and all that stuff. That stuff is good. That stuff tells them, hey, there's a problem with the business plan in this game. Death threats and all that stuff, totally inappropriate. I feel like really muddy the message and mess everything up going forward for these type of things. Because like those people didn't win.
Sure.
It's the and I'd hope not. You know.
Right. No, I hear you.
But at the end of the day, awesome. Star Wars Battlefront 2 should have the best chance it has to succeed. And all this shit, they got it wrong. They fucked it up, and they are admitting they fucked up.
Yeah.
Were they forced to do it? Yeah. No pun intended.
Nah,
But yeah, they did it.
here I've seen this too as well, and I'm looking through as I go because I have 2 questions here. Yeah, let's start. I'm going to toss it to Josh, who wrote into Kind of Funny Games Daily, who piggybacks off of what you said, Tim. Hey, Greg and Tim. So as most everyone is celebrating the removal of real money purchases in Battlefront 2, I find myself more cautiously concerned. Are we now in an age where you stir up big enough stink about something, a company will cave? We already saw this with the ending for Mass Effect 3, and EA caved there. I've already seen this invigorating people to rouse other people to their internet mob to push for change in other games. I'm a firm believer in capitalism and people voting with their wallet and companies making monetary changes based on a monetary figure of sales and the such. I guess I'm just concerned that this is inspiring people to continue these attack tactics on devs and publishers to force change, parentheses bullying, instead of informing people of what's happening and seeing money from sales dictate company decisions. Thoughts, Josh? Here's my take on it, because I've seen this kicked around a lot. And of like, oh great, congratulations, bullies, you've won. You've gotten what you wanted, blah, blah, blah. Internet tough guys, internet bullies will exist for the rest of the internet and will exist for every decision made. And I understand that for them, they think they did it with their death threats. Maybe. I'd like to imagine they're not that stupid. that they really think that's what got them these, that they're fucking being assholes to people and being really mean. It is the intelligent conversation that's happened on this show, that's happened on a million different forums, on a million different shows, on a million different forums. That's what changed it here. And I understand that these bullies will take this as a win or whatever, but when they bully you about everything else on the internet and lose there, I think there's a trade-off here, and I don't think everyone at large is going to believe that it was the bad guys that made this happen. This is a win in terms of, hey, discourse in gaming does matter, and the fact that if we get out there and something appears to be wrong, that's the one thing I still have with this, is that all the facts I've heard and read and everything else about it sounds like this was a fucking shitty ass system and a stupid idea. I do believe DICE's heart was in the right place. We want you to play this game for hours and hours and hours. We want you to feel rewarded. We want you to feel like you're grinding towards something important. Clearly it was wrong. I wish it could have gotten into live hands and to the actual community that wants to play it more than anybody and seen if it mattered. Now, I'm not saying that in early access and all this stuff, people who are the hardest of the hardcore weren't playing it and saying there was a problem. All that doesn't matter. This came out, everyone said this was wrong, and this wasn't one where, I mean, even people who wrote into this show being like, no, I want to grind, I want to be rewarded, they were few and far between. And I feel like that's representative of the industry and gaming and the community at large, to where this was clearly a misstep, and I'm glad they listened as well. But I don't think people are going to take away from this the fact that if we're complete assholes and do these horrible things, it'll happen. It's the same thing with Mass Effect 3. Mass Effect 3's ending doesn't change because of the people who were being rude to the writers and stuff online. It changes because the hardest of the hardcore Mass Effect fans who had been there for the better part of a decade were like, this is a fucking not a great ending. This is not what we were going for. That's what I take.
Yeah. I think it's all factors playing into it at once. And unfortunately, that does give the bullies, for lack of a better term, a false sense of accomplishment.
Yeah.
But you're right. They will forever exist. There's no getting rid of that. And so I think that it is important to look at the more positive aspects of this than the negative, because while the negative are very loud and hurtful, it is the positive that at the end of the day will overcome it all. Because going forward, when different devs and publishers are making games, they're going to look at this and be like, we can't get it that wrong. And that's good. Great. Let's move toward a better future where next fall, we're not going to have this microtransaction problem to this extent. Hopefully this will be like, let's shy all the way back to the other extreme and baby step, baby step, baby step. And then there'll be someone else that gets punched down for going too far.
Well, let me bring in George. George writes into kindoffunny.com/KFGD, just like you can, and says, hi, Greg. Short question. In your time covering games, do you recall fan backlash hitting any particular game as resoundingly as Battlefront has been hit over the past few days on such a huge scale? There seems to be a story along these lines every few years. No Man's Sky instantly comes to mind, but I can't think of anything that rivals the publishers of a huge AAA game backtracking on such an integral part of the game the night before the worldwide launch. No, George. I can't think of anything this crazy. Like No Man's Sky, good example. But No Man's Sky was, we got the game and everybody's like, this wasn't what we were promised or what it was going to be. Mass Effect 3's ending, there was a huge outcry about that and they eventually went back. But like what you're talking about, right? Like I can't think of anything that's been something as big as EA, a franchise, a property, an intellectual property as big as Star Wars, and then the night before it's supposed to go worldwide for everybody, they're like, fuck it, we're ripping it all out. Yeah. That is crazy. And it shows where we're at with video games in the way that
I think it shows where we're at with social media. I think it shows where we're at with it's been this way for a while, where there's communities and every video game has so many different places you can go to discuss the game. But now with things like Twitter and Instagram, Facebook and all this, and the ability to share things, it's every year there's just more people using these platforms. Mm-hmm. And when one verified user gets retweeted and then a bunch of other people that are like, oh, that seems kind of shitty, even if they're not involved at all. And next thing you know, it has 100,000 retweets. Yeah. That is being seen by so many people. And that is more powerful marketing than any type of product placement could ever get you.
Sure. And that's what's been interesting with the shifting sands of all this, is the fact that for years we've talked about voting with your wallet. And when this originally came up, right, there was a debate on this show of like, well, is that you don't buy Battlefront, or is that you buy Battlefront but never buy a loot crate or never spend real money on anything? How do you send the message? And the argument was, well, like, all the social media posts in the world aren't necessarily going to get the message across. Whereas this one, I think the fact that every other day it seemed like there was worse news about this, right? Where it's pay to win. All right, no, we're looking at it. No, it still is. This is happening. Loot crates here. All right, well, now you have to play for 2,800 hours or whatever it is. Here's Luke. Here's like every day there was another thing of like, holy shit, how are they fucking up this badly? And it wasn't just I'm tweeting and I'm outraged. This is bad. It's the tweets that were like yesterday's one where it was a developer who makes microtransactions and being like, there's a way to do this. I make these things for mobile games. Here's how I do it and what my philosophy is and what most people's philosophy is. And this is where EA went wrong with this. And the fact that we are seeing the industry pull back that curtain and we're seeing devs openly talk about that and not critique, but explain best practices, stuff that usually is saved for a GDC talk for a few hundred people, unless you want to watch it on the Vault later. That's what's been fascinating about this. And the fact that it was the facts that there. Somebody hit me up again today, like, oh, you did like 50 in the first. I'm like, I tried, man.
There's a lot of facts, man.
I tried. There's a lot of facts here. Facts change. As Cool Greg would say. Mm-hmm. I think this was a great move, not only obviously for EA, but I mean for us, in terms of an industry of being able to listen to each other. And yeah, the outcry is terrible, and I know people on the show are sick of hearing about microtransactions and loot crates and all this stuff, but the reason, to George's question here, that this is such a crazy event is that we've been running to 2017 being this tipping point this entire time, where it has been. Star Wars was for a while, but we were talking about it in other games, and Shadow of War, and there's been this
NBA 2K.
Exactly. There's been this track laid for what's a good microtransaction, what's a bad microtransaction, what is a loot crate that works, what isn't a loot crate that works. And I thought we were going to walk away from this year learning from our mistakes in a way of like, okay, well, NBA fucked it up bad. Shadow of War people were bitching about beforehand, but I really haven't heard anybody bitch about it since. Battlefront's this nightmare. 2018 games, when we get to the fall, won't be like that for AAA, or they'll figure it out when clearly we already have resolution of, cool, we overextended here and we don't understand what's happening. And yes, I saw some people this morning headlines going up being like, oh, they took it down for now. And I know I introduced that, but I mean, they're definitely doing the twirl the mustache thing. I think, yeah, microtransactions will be back in Battlefront because clearly, again, they want to make money off of this. They want to sustain, but I think it's going to come back in a way that is not egregious and cool. Here's a system that makes sense and it's probably all going to be cosmetic and you don't have to worry about it. Mm-hmm. It's been a fascinating year for gaming.
Yep.
Tim?
Yeah.
Our second Roper Report story. Over on that there NPD, they released October 2017's top 10 games. I'm quoting from IGN. Are you ready, Tim?
I am very ready.
Number 1, Middle-earth Shadow of War. Now, you at home might say, wait, what the fuck, Greg? Yesterday, Nintendo put out a thing saying Mario Odyssey was the best-selling game. Now, they dropped down here in the IGN article, Super Mario Odyssey's numbers didn't include digital sales on NPD, something that may account for Nintendo's statement about it being October's number 1 seller.
Only being available 4 days.
Exactly. Regardless, the impressive, because it's at number 3. Number 2 was Assassin's Creed Origins. Number 3 was Super Mario. Number 4, South Park, The Fractured Butthole. Number 5, NBA 2K18. Seems like people didn't care about those microtransactions. Number 6, FIFA 18. Number 7, WWE 2K18. 8, Madden NFL 18. 9, Destiny 2. And number 10, Forza Motorsport 7. Interesting to point out, says the NPD, Destiny 2 is the best-selling game of 2017 and the second best-selling game of the last 12 months. It confused me for a second, too. But
no, I get it. But what's number 1, then?
What was the best-selling game of the fall last year? Kindafunny.com/you're wrong. We don't have to think about it. Let's just guess. Best-selling game of the fall 2016. What crazy ass tentpole game came out last year? 2016. End of the year. Uncharted was already out, so that wouldn't count. And not to mention,
Uncharted,
I know. I'm sorry. Close. Just let me work through the problem. Don't fucking come in and shit in my mouth right away. God, Tim. It's fun, you piece of garbage. There was no Assassin's Creed. I remember Call of Duty being a down year.
It was a down year.
Yeah. Battlefield
Pokemon
1
sold well, but I don't think it sold that well.
What were we fucking playing last
5.
fall? GTA. No, Watch Dogs tanked.
Definitely not.
No, sadly.
That was March.
Sadly, yeah. Fuck, all right. Kind of funny.
Yeah, let us know.
You're wrong. What was? All right, you can quiet down over there. Anything about the numbers stand out to you other than the fact that Mario fucking killed it for being on sale for so little?
No, this all totally makes sense, and even that makes sense. Totally adds up to what you'd expect for how the attach rate's been for Switch games.
Happy to see South Park: The Fractured But Whole chart so well.
Yeah, great.
Yeah,
like I feel like that is a huge win for Ubisoft San Francisco, it being their first major game like that. Like, congrats to them. Critically acclaimed and selling well. It's like good. They have a recipe for success there.
And obviously, great news for Ubi having number 2 Assassin's Creed Origins and number 4 South Park right there. 2 Ubi games in the top 5. That's great. Speaking of which, Greg Way. Number 3, Ubisoft is safe from Vivendi for now. For now. Hip, hip, hooray. This comes from Reuters. Reuters says, acquisitive, which I've never even heard of, right? They're taking acquisition and putting the IV on there. Acquisitive, whatever. French media conglomerate Vivendi missed analyst estimates in third quarter earnings and ruled out a hostile takeover of Ubisoft for the next 6 months after the video game's maker beat forecasts, pushing its shares to record high. Vivendi, however, I jumped a whole bunch of stuff that didn't matter. Vivendi, however, kept its 2017 outlook for revenue to increase more than 5% and for a rise of around 25% in its EBITDA, whichever the fuck that means. We should have been adults at some point, but I don't know what the hell they're talking about.
No.
Prior to its integration of the Havas business. The group also said it would not launch a takeover bid in the next 6 months for French video game group Ubisoft, in which it has a 26% stake, Reuters data shows. Ubisoft, in which Vivendi owns 26%, is up 96% since January and jumped to a record high after beating its second quarter sales target.
I mean, following up on the sales we were talking about for the MPD, Ubisoft has been killing it. I feel like the two big stories we talked about in terms of sales this year have been Nintendo and Ubisoft. And I feel like Ubisoft always kind of gets the weird shaft in it because it doesn't have a new system and it's not like, one of the big three. Yeah. But you look back on it and there's so many games that looking at before they came out, you're like, all right, like cool, Ghost Recon Wildlands, For Honor, and yet they are games that sell month after month after month, super high. And then things like Mario plus Rabbids coming out. It's just like, Ubisoft has had a killer yield.
Yeah, you can correct me if I know this is technically going to be a year wrong or whatever, but I remember when we read it on this show, the fact that Ubisoft's sales for the year, Mario plus Rabbids accounted for like 17% or something.
Which is nuts.
Yeah.
When you do the math on how well all the other games have been selling.
Yeah. This is, I talk about it on Gamescast, I think, recently, and I think it was the one you missed, actually, of the fact that, people call me a PlayStation fanboy all the time, and that's fine, that's fair, and I'm in the community. I think it's that I covered it for the beat for so long, I just know it so well. When I think it's actually interesting that I feel like I cheer for Microsoft. I want Microsoft to do well more than I ever want, PlayStation to do well, right? Go to mommy. I'm eating an apple. And it's the same thing with Ubisoft, I feel, where ever since Ubisoft really was like, you know what, no. We're going to come out of the shadows in a way which Vivendi forced when they started all this stuff. Like Ubisoft and Yves Guillemot started being like, you know what? We got to put a face to this brand. We have to be more communicative. What is a Ubisoft game? And I think when you said, it's a Ubisoft game before, that usually meant, all right, cool, it's open world and we're going to take down these towers and stuff. And that's still the case, but now it also means that it's an online, progressive world we're all playing in together and doing something with.
It's community-based.
Right, and that's why it sounds stupid, and don't get me wrong, at no point do I want you to think I'm defending the Ubisoft Club or whatever the fuck it's called. The Club, whatever the hell no, it's not Uplay anymore, it's something else. Whatever Uplay turned into now, which I think is QB. But like we were playing Wheel of Fortune yesterday.
The Crew.
No, sorry.
No, that's
we were playing Wheel of Fortune yesterday at my desk, and it was a Ubisoft game. And I popped some of those Uplay points or whatever the fuck they are now. And it was one of those things of like, oh, that's cool because those things stack up. And then when I got South Park, I logged on. I was like, oh, fuck, I have all these points and there's costumes here to unlock with that. That's the nice little microtransaction way of, right? I'm doing things in Ubisoft ecosystem, and I did it in the Division all the time where, I did a Uplay action, so now I have it and I can go spend it and get this different gun or this different skin or whatever the hell it was. Like, that's cool. A neat little network thing to be like, I associate good vibes with this brand. And as we've watched, I thought they were dead in the water. I thought Vivendi had them dead to rights. And Vivendi came in and poked them with a cattle prod, and they fucking...
They're like, we got this.
They snapped to and turned it around.
Bringing back the rabbits.
Get the rabbits out. We need them.
We need them.
In case of emergency, break glass. These rabbits just pour out. They're all on top of Mario. Yeah. I cheer for Ubisoft as well, so I'm glad to see them do it, especially when they make games like Watch Dogs 2. now, come E3 2018, give me Division 2. Give me the Division 2.
Long Division.
That's a terrible name, but I wouldn't hate it. Tim?
Yes.
Closing out the Roper Report. London last night held their Golden Joysticks Awards.
Golden Joysticks.
You familiar with these?
I am.
Good. I'm not. I was like, what the hell is this? I don't remember. I thought it was Games Radar's Golden Joysticks at first.
It's not?
No.
Oh.
This is a separate Golden Joystick
unfamiliar.
Awards. Yeah.
Totally unfamiliar.
Anyways, they did this whole thing. I like running down where other people fall so we can start to worry. We're doing Gamescast next week's going to be going through the Game Awards.
The Game Awards,
The Jeff Keighley Game Awards,
Yes.
and trying to figure out where we think that's going to happen. But here you go. For London's Golden Joysticks, Best Storytelling, Horizon Zero Dawn. Best Visual Design, Cuphead. Best Audio, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Weird pick. Right?
I have thoughts. No, yeah, that's dumb.
Yeah, it's a weird pick. Yeah,
Absolutely. The first two, I'm like, cool.
Nailed it.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Best audio, Zelda. Nah, bro.
Link, the blood moon rises. All right. Best gaming performance, Ashley Birch, Aloy and Horizon Zero Dawn. Best indie fucking game, Friday the 13th, the game.
Oh my God, Greg.
So many indie developers must have flipped the fucking table and ran out of the room, but fuck you. You kind of deserve it. Just make your game run better and be stable. Best multiplayer game, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds.
Yee.
Studio of the Year, Nintendo EPD.
Yee.
Best VR game, Resident Evil 7.
Yee.
Nintendo Game of the Year, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Ooh.
PlayStation Game of the
Is
Year.
Mario Odyssey up for these Game of the Years?
Don't know.
It's interesting that
Seeing
it's
how
not
these
on
awards
the...
just came out of the blue, I don't know. It might have been the cutoff already.
Yeah, it seems like it was because it's not here anywhere.
PlayStation Game of the Year, Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yep.
Xbox Game of the Year, Cuphead.
Hell yes. Hell fucking yes. Oh,
No, I'm not
I
trying to
love Cuphead winning everything. It's great.
I'm not trying to take anything away, but I think Cuphead's an awesome game, I guess, right?
Cuphead is awesome.
What was the competition for Xbox Game of the Year? And are we only dealing with exclusives? So it's Forza.
There was Halo Wars 2 in February, Greg. There was
Ryan Coleman don't care
Forza.
about that shit no more.
There was
PC Game of the Year, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. The Critics' Choice Award, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Breakthrough Award, Ashley Birch. And Ultimate Game of the Year. Well, I love this. The unified championship of all the platforms, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
That's very cool.
Yeah. So outside of Best Audio, we're okay with these picks?
Yeah. I think the audio definitely is not right. Breakthrough Award, I'd like to know what the definition of that is, but
Yeah.
Otherwise, yeah, this all checks out to me.
You would assume, it's Performance of the Year kind of thing, but I understand.
Best gaming performance, she already won up there. So I wouldn't call her a breakthrough. I mean, this is definitely a huge jump for her career.
Yeah.
But she's been killing it for years.
Sure, Tiny Tina.
Hey, Ash, what you playing? You ever watch that?
Yeah.
One of the
Clements
best
loved it, yeah.
internet video series of all time.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
There's not a bad episode.
Okay.
So good.
I'll
Go
agree
watch
with
it
that.
now.
Go watch it. Well, after the show. Don't stop this show to go watch it. Tim,
Yes.
if I want to know what came to the Mom and Grop digital shops, where would I go?
Official list of our current social across each and every platform. This is really kind of a games daily show host each and every weekday.
You are not the kind of person who does voices usually.
I'm not. And I was touching my eye and my voice went high a little bit. I'm like, I'm just going to.
We just ran with it. No, that was.
It hurt. I'm
it
not
was
gonna do that
disturbing.
again.
Don't do it again. Get on those LaCroix. First one I'm going to start with is an out today / upcoming dates because IGN shoved them all together here for Middle-earth: Shadow of War. It will receive 5 free content updates before the end of 2017. The first 3 updates, Endless Siege, Rebellion, and Enhanced Photo Mode, arrive on November 21st. WB announced today. Online Fight Pits, a new mode that allows you to pit your orc followers against those of another player, will be released on December 5th. Lastly, a new difficulty that's even more challenging than Nemesis with no last chances will be added on December 12th. Now, you might say, Greg, none of those were today's dates. Those were all upcoming. And to which I would say, you are correct. And I misread the information. I put it there. So you got one on me today, everybody. Also out today, though, MXGP3, the official motocross game on Switch. Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon 3DS. Schoolgirl / Zombie Hunter PlayStation 4. All right. Star Wars Battlefront 2, Xbox One, PS4, PC. The Elder Scrolls 5, Skyrim on Switch. The Sims 4 on Xbox One and PS4. Rive Ultimate Edition on Switch. V on Switch. The Elder Scrolls Skyrim 5. No, The Elder Scrolls 5, Skyrim, PlayStation VR. Now I'm doubling up. God damn it, Kotaku. I don't want to actually have to proofread your work. Your Toy, Xbox One.
Shout out Schoolgirl Zombie Hunter again on
They
PlayStation
did that and
4.
The Sims again. At Tukata, Turtle Racing on Xbox One. That's what you've been waiting for. And Xenoraid on Switch. Meanwhile, new dates for you. This is from PlayStation blog. I'm going to read. Uncharted 10th anniversary PlayStation 4 system theme and profile avatar will be available for free for 48 hours from Sunday, November 19th at 8 a.m. Pacific time until 8 a.m. Pacific time, Tuesday, November 21st. During this period, other select Uncharted PS4 system themes and avatars will also be free. Visit the PlayStation Store and look for Uncharted 10th Anniversary Bundle. Don't miss it.
Cool.
Then, a PSX date for you. We'll wrap up the Uncharted 10th Anniversary celebrations at PSX with event activities, including a special retrospective panel featuring members of the cast of Uncharted and a show floor puzzle room experience set in a life-size recreation of Nate's attic. We'll also have new Uncharted 10th Anniversary merchandise available at the PlayStation Gear Store. Be sure to tune in for the panel on Saturday, December 9th at 5 p.m. Pacific on live.playstation.com and follow Naughty Dog, blah, 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 blah. Now, what'd you do there at Nate's attic?
I love everything about this, but the Nate's attic thing, it's a step too far for me.
Why? I think it sounds fun. It's stupid.
No, it's not.
I'm going to have a little gun and shoot it.
Here's the thing. There's all the puzzle rooms. I get that that's the craze right now and whatever. It works for some things, and it doesn't work for others. Uncharted doesn't have like a definitive like, this is an arena that if you're in it, you're like, oh man, I'm in this place. Nate's attic? Are you kidding me? No. Dumb idea. Fire whoever came up with it.
Jesus. I think it's going to be fun. We all know it from Uncharted 4. There'll be all the references to the other games. We'll shoot the things.
We'll see. Anyone that goes,
for shot
tweet me pictures. Tweet me pictures of you having so much fun in Nate's attic.
Now you're going to get a fucking full-fledged video from me there.
Please do.
I'm going to fucking make you, Joey Noel, learn how to use the camera, film me running around there shooting shit. We'll see who's laughing then.
We will.
Be me, Joey, and Andy having fun at PSX. Remember, there are a lot of PSX activities coming up for us.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, Joey, that's what I like to hear. Joey, where do I send people to look at all the PlayStation experience stuff we're doing?
It's the pin post on every...
Pin post on every social thing we do. So the forums and the Reddit and the whatnot. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on. We'll be at PSX. Details that we can tell you firmly coming soon. Mainly though, Portillo's meet and greet Sunday night.
Yeah.
Then we're all driving to San Diego and doing a Christmas party, White Elephant gift exchange, wear ugly sweaters on Monday at Polite Provisions, Eric Castro's bar. So be there. And then finally, your last new date, Soma is coming to Xbox One on December 1st. Meanwhile, deals of the day, PSN is already putting up its Black Friday deals, some of them now, for PlayStation Plus members. So get in there if you want to save a few bucks.
Get hyped.
I said earn a few bucks. You're not really going to earn any money looking or buying stuff. Time for reader mail, Tim.
Let's get to that.
I want to find one for you right off the bat.
Please
you know what I
do.
mean? I want to give you something
Give
to
me
chew
some time
on.
to shine.
Because it's just, All right, here we go. No, where's a good one? Oh, here we go. Our friend Javier writes in. I'm not even going to start. It's Bonet-Ruiz, of course. He writes in every fucking show. You know this. But it's Javier. And he wrote into kindoffunny.com/KFGD, just like you can to be a regular on the show, and says, hey, Greg and Tim. Why isn't anyone talking about the Star Wars Battlefront 2 campaign? All this mess with microtransactions is overshadowing the rest of the game. Battlefront 2 isn't just multiplayer. I'm in the minority here, but I'm only playing the game for the campaign. I might play the multiplayer with friends if they do, but that's it. Have you guys played the campaign? If so, what are your thoughts? Spoiler free, of course. Greetings from Florida. Real quick, Javier. Right now, the Kinda Funny Games cast is up on patreon.com/kindafunnygames. You go there, you can hear Tim's expansive thoughts on it, including spoilers when you've beaten it or you don't care anymore. It'll also be up Monday for youtube.com/kindafunnygames. But Tim, what is the elevator pitch?
The campaign's really bad. And it sucks because it's like I wanted it to be good. I was going into it where I was like, I understand like what the max we're gonna get from this.
Yeah.
But I think from pretty much every angle, it was a failure. Like from a gameplay perspective, from a story perspective, the one thing that they got right was character. I think a lot of the new characters they added were really cool and unique and fresh and well written. But there was too many cooks in the kitchen. You could totally tell. And it didn't feel like a full featured story, a campaign. I'm very, very upset about it. It's probably my biggest disappointment of 2017.
God damn it.
Yeah.
That's
very short, 4 hours.
Because I asked you, I was like, 4 hours, should I play it? Just to get, and you're like, no.
My thing is, what I said on Gamescast is 4 hours. I don't think you should play it. I do think Nick should play it just because Nick cares about Star Wars.
Sure.
Like, if you care about Star Wars.
I care about Janina, and I care about Walt, and I care about Mitch.
Yeah, I mean, there's spoilers on that, but.
Jeff No, I'm sorry. I fucked that up already. Jeffy Jeff writes into kindafunny.com/KFGD and says, hey, gang. With Ni No Kuni 2 coming out January 19th, what are some reasons the company would decide to not put the first game out on new-gen consoles? Yes, it's on PS Now, but that's not the same. I would think if they did port the first game, it would draw in a few new fans and make a lot more money. Seems like a no-brainer to me. Just curious what you all thought. The problem you have here is, think about it this way. People are hungry for a new Ni No Kuni. If you missed the original Ni No Kuni, you've heard people talk about it, and you know that was a game that was important and popular, and a lot of people really loved it. Now the sequel's coming out. You don't need to have played the first one. It's going to be better. It's going to be prettier, blah, blah, blah. You're going to drive people to play that. If you were to put out a remastered, digital-only edition or whatever you want to put out for the original Ni No Kuni, people are going to buy that and then feel like they've got their fill. It's
too big a game.
Exactly. And you want people to be starving for your game when it gets there. I mean, this is not apples to apples at all, but think about Red Dead 2, where we're all fucking like, Jesus, just give us another oh my God, I can't wait. We're finally getting Red Dead. It's because we haven't had a million cowboy games or a million games on the level of Red Dead since then. And so similar here, the reason Persona 5 was a big deal was the fact that the Persona games are awesome, and we haven't had one in quite a while. And you want that hunger to build up. And so right now, it's what we always talk about, where there's word of mouth for the franchise of Ni No Kuni. And so you know people are going to go out and buy that, not having played the first one, but understanding that it was great. So they've heard a lot of things. My friend really loved it. They're going to get on this one. It's a little flame right now, and you don't want to overfan it and put it out. And that's the big thing. You want to drive all the sales to the new game, the new version. So coming out and putting out another one that is a bajillion hours, people are going to be, I didn't finish it, so I'm going to finish that before I buy the next one, and so on and so forth.
Yep.
Eric K writes in.
Eric K.
To kindafunny.com/KFGD and says, this is long, so edit when you choose to. I did. Hey, Greg and Tim. This is kind of a deals of the day, but really want to use this opportunity to talk digital versus physical games. And a warning, this is long, so Timmy Tim, crack open a LaCroix. PlayStation's Black Friday early access deals went live today. South Park and Assassin's Creed Origins are both $42, which is a pretty good deal. However, most retailers are offering these two games for $30 to $35 on Black Friday. This brings me to my question/comment. I really don't understand why you guys are convinced games will be considerably cheaper when we move to the inevitable all-digital future. First, there's the I'm editing a lot of this out. First, the microtransaction palooza of 2017 has shown that devs may be looking for ways to raise prices as opposed to lowering them. Second, I always wait to buy games physically when they're always at least $10 or $20 cheaper than the digital version. That, plus early adopter discounts from Best Buy/Amazon, make physical copies cheaper than digital. So how is it going to happen? Where's it going to get cheaper? XOXO Eric. The problem we have in what we're talking about, Eric, of digital only being 1 day cheaper, is the fact that you're talking about shopping at brick and mortar. You're talking about shopping at Amazon and Best Buy and GameStop. It's the fact that they still exist in the form that they do. It's the same thing we talk about with Vita games all the time, where when Vita games originally came, and now regular games that are out in day and date digital, the same thing as they go into a store, you can't undercut the stores yet, because if you were to go in there and be like, all right, cool, everything on PSN it's $60 in Walmart, but it's $50 on PSN on launch day, you would piss off Walmart, you would piss off GameStop, they would stop selling your consoles or stop carrying your games and start favoring Xbox or PlayStation or whoever the one who pissed them off is, right? The idea here that all digital one day, or the digital landscape winning out in the end, will be better for gamers is all referenced by Steam. In the way that Steam, if you look at that right, they have no competitors. People really aren't selling physical PC games anymore. So you get games out on there, you get them in bundles, you get them at these crazy discounts. People can put up a flash sale really quick, put them down really quick, do whatever the hell they want to do to make Steam be the premier platform for people to go to. And the argument would be that if that was able to happen, if you didn't have to worry about Amazon, thank you, Fun Friday, not screwing you over, taking off this, GameStop not putting you on shelves. I don't, this is the thing is, I guess, I don't even, with Amazon having a digital marketplace, I don't know how much they really factor into it, because they don't have to worry about, hey, we're not going to sell your thing here. The argument here is the fact that you cut out the middleman, you cut out the stores, you cut out the trucks, games should come down in price and just be easier to sell. Am I wrong?
I mean, I think it's complicated because we've talked about this so often where it comes down to that we can't have a digital only presence because we don't have the infrastructure for that yet, Middle America and all that stuff. But I think it gets complicated when a lot of the things you're talking about have been evolving over time. Where Amazon might not have a digital marketplace now in place for games, but
they kind of do. You can. I can buy. I've bought my digital codes there and everything else.
But it's like it's not where it's at with Amazon's music side, for example, right? Where for a long time iTunes was the only way, and then Amazon slowly over time figured it out, working with deals with different record labels. They're now huge, and a lot of people buy their music digitally on Amazon.
Yeah.
And that took time. It wasn't always the digital sold more than physical for music. Eventually, it hit that point that it does. Looking at the NPD now of even Mario Odyssey, right? Like it's number 2 because that doesn't include. Well, it was number 3 because it doesn't include digital sales.
Yeah.
So it's selling very well physically, right? Like we can't undermine the fact that games physically still take up the majority of the pie chart.
100%.
So I don't know. In terms of the cost of the games, I don't think that we'll really ever see the price of games go down just because it's cutting out the middleman of the storefronts and all that stuff.
Well, the argument would be not just the fact of the middleman and all this stuff. It's the argument that we've set this, and some people have toyed with it so far, but I think we've set this arbitrary, games cost $60. And so it's what I always come back to with Titanfall and even looking at Lawbreakers, right? Of the fact that Lawbreakers was like, hey, we're not a AAA game. We like to think of we are. We're trying really hard. We're only multiplayer, so we're going to put it out at, what was it, $29? I think it was $29.99. And that's awesome, but there still is that stigma attached to you're not if you're less than $60 on your first day, you're not a full-fledged game. It was the same thing that happened with Ratchet & Clank. When Ratchet & Clank came out for PlayStation 4, and we were like, oh, it's $40. This ain't a real Ratchet & Clank game. And you played it, and it was a real Ratchet & Clank game. And it was awesome. And it is this stigma. And if we were to blow up brick and mortar, or at least shake it up where digital's the thing, I feel like it's what Colin used to always say. You'd see people explore that scale.
I feel like that scale, I think we're already there. Like, I feel like that stigma isn't, I mean, it's still there to an extent, but I think even stigma is too strong of a word.
Yeah.
I feel like there's been a lot of games that explore the scale a bit more. We even see with like Crash Bandicoot, like the Ratchet going into it. Yeah, a lot of people are like, oh, this is just a movie tie-in.
Sure.
Right. So there was a lot of other factors going into that. The game still sold very well, and it was critically acclaimed.
Yeah.
And then Crash Bandicoot being another example, $40, and it was one of the best sellers of the year. And there's a bunch of other ones too, but like seeing things where it's like, it's weird now where it's like Cuphead, it's an indie game, but it's also an Xbox like exclusive, and it is a big title for them, and that being 15 or 20, whatever it was. And then when you talk about things like Lawbreakers and whatever, I just think that there is a certain level of game that no matter how slim the offerings are content wise, there's still a level of AAA-ness that cost money.
I agree.
So we'll never see, like Star Wars Battlefront 1 when it came out, and everyone's like, $60 for this? That game's never going to come out at $40. It's never going to come out at $30 with a bunch of microtransactions being the thing. It'll come out with 60 with those things, or not, in the case of Battlefront 2. You know?
I mean, yes, in the foreseeable future, in the next few years, yes. But I see a future where, no, they would be. I think they would have made more money and had more goodwill if it was, hey, it's $30. That gets you the single player and the multiplayer, and then there are loot crates and that. Because that was the heart of most of the people's problem with it on the surface was, hey, this is a $60 game, and I'm still getting nickel and dime, and I'm still working my ass off to try to get this shit. And then it was, I'm never going to really be able to unlock this without paying you real money. Like, it all built up, right? If people start playing with the models and doing this, bringing in free to play, putting out a discounted game, maybe there is, and we're not there yet by all. But I think it would have been a goodwill win.
We're not there now. I honestly don't believe we ever will be. I think
to which part? Where $30 Star Wars EA game?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I just think that the market and the way that consoles work.
Yeah.
I don't know that we'll ever be able to shift so far from that it makes sense in a different way. And I think an example of that is looking at mobile, where an argument was made so often of, oh, just put out a game that costs more money that's more complete. They did that with Super Mario Run, and it didn't work.
Yeah.
What did work? Fire Emblem Heroes.
Right.
You know, like that is totally, or Pokemon Go.
And I want
inevitably Animal Crossing.
Yeah, we have a question coming up. I can't wait for that game. Eric K, I mean, is also not wrong. You know what I mean? I very much talk about this in a, hey, we hypothesize and do this, and that's right. You're right. Companies want to make money. It's very, I mean, and also monopolies are bad. So if it was that, GameStop closes up and Amazon closes, or not Amazon, I keep saying, I don't mean Amazon. GameStop closes up, Best Buy closes up, Walmart closes up. We don't have to worry about how you're getting your console on the shelf anymore. And you're going to PSN and Xbox and Steam. Maybe there isn't a counter argument that, $60 is what games cost. They're going to go on sale occasionally, but you're not going to get a discount like you get with Gamers Club. You're not going to get your Prime discount. You're not going to have those options. That's real, let alone the fact that you can no longer trade stuff in. I'm not trying to say that this is the only way. I just think it's always this argument that in a vacuum, you would assume that this would drive down the cost. Digital would drive down the cost because when you sit down and actually spell out why games cost what they cost, you would imagine that's the fact. But if we're all sitting there accepting $60 as the price point, no matter how you get it, it's going to be $60 as the price point.
Yeah.
So it's one of those we have to sit there and wait and see. But I think if anything's shown as you're talking about it, like all digital future is quite a ways off. Mm-hmm. That's not the real thing. And there's down to people like me who just don't want clutter and all these other things. But buy games how you want, get your deals. I appreciate that PlayStation Black Friday sales are at least there. Now, granted, they're not as much as Best Buy or whatever, but
I mean, no, it's things like that I think are the hints at what's to come for digital. But that shows how not far we are, right, from with all that stuff, because in years we're only getting these small little incremental deals on digital games because they know that they can't just slash the prices the way physical games can. Yeah. But physical games also need to slash the prices to get room on their shelves for shit. When they're fucking trying to give away the goddamn Tom Nook amiibos.
Well, I mean, this is literally what we're talking about with competition, right? Where I was talking about EA, right? You want to see a $30 EA Star Wars game. What would motivate EA to make that $30 Star Wars game, right, would be the fact that, number one, the most realistic would be if there was a competitor. But since they have the Star Wars license, there's not going to be a competitor. And this, for me, comes up with 2K, right? When they were going up against EA with EA had Madden and they had their 2K football game, right? And they started selling that at, what was it, $30, I think? And it was a better game. And that's when EA was like, oh, fuck. And they snatched up the license so that wouldn't be there anymore. Competition breeds this stuff. So in the same way, if there's no competition for PSN, then there's no... What's fascinating is that if there's no competition for PSN, then maybe they don't ever lower their prices. And the whole reason physical games are cheaper via Best Buy and Walmart or whatever is because digital is the competition putting their feet to the fire. And that's why they want you to join the Gamers Club and go in there and buy all this stuff off. Yeah. It's a fascinating thing as everybody races, and it's better for the consumer. So there is the argument that, if you could only get... I would think that Amazon or somebody like that would rise up and be able to sell digital codes as well, and maybe that's the competitor. But
I mean, the Amazon thing is a very interesting wrinkle because I foresee this holiday being a disaster when it comes to video games on Amazon. From everything I've heard,
dude, what is happening? I don't.
It's all of this shit. It's all of this stuff of everyone trying to have the biggest dick in the room and own a sector. And it's going to cause a lot of problems. We've seen it year after year where you can't buy a 3DS because Amazon had such limited quantities because Nintendo and Amazon didn't play nice.
Yeah.
Right now, EA and Amazon are not playing nice. EA, like that, it's crazy. You could not go
What's EA doing to
You
Amazon?
could not go on Amazon and pre-order Battlefront 2. Huh. You can only pre-order it digitally.
Huh.
So there's weird deals where EA is trying to limit Amazon selling physically, and it's all a bunch of business stuff. It's just all this behind the scenes bullshit. So that's why there are things like Gamers Club Unlocked and whatever the fuck Walmart has and stuff like that, and also Amazon's Prime stuff, because they need that to be relevant as much as possible.
Fascinating. I was just talking about the Amazon missing release dates now and the SNES stuff and all this other jazz. Xbox One.
There's a reason for that stuff. It's because their part of the pie is being limited artificially from all these the developers or publishers limiting them because they want to have more control over how their game is being sold and when it's being sold.
Huh. All right. Danny V writes in and says, hey guys, with Animal Crossing Pocket Camp releasing to the rest of the world later this month, parentheses, I've been playing the Australian version for about a week now and it's my absolute favorite. What does it take for a mobile game to make it to the first screen on your phone? Thanks. What gets you to play a mobile game, I guess, is the real question.
People telling me it's good.
Yeah.
I feel like every mobile game I've actually invested in, not just like booted up for a second, has been someone that I respect being like, oh, you'll like this for this reason.
Yeah.
And then I started playing, I'm like, oh, and most of the time that's been true. There are a lot of mobile games that I've gotten straight up addicted to. I always talk about Peggle, Peggle Blast and Jetpack Joyride.
Good one.
Not
Your brother shot Boot Gang. No, I played that.
No,
That's not
good. But no, there have been a bunch of different games. Kingdom Rush comes to mind. That are fantastic, but it's all been because someone's like, hey, this is really good. You like Fire Emblem? You'll like this.
Sure.
Like things like that. Or Rayman Jungle Run, Fiesta Run, the two of them. It was just like, oh man, if you like platformers and rhythm games, you're going to love this. And I absolutely did.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I rarely play mobile games, but it is the fact somebody tells me I can't miss it. I mean, Animal Crossing is a great example of something that's making me not... I'm not going to miss this game because on paper it sounds so great. It's what I want out of Animal Crossing. I want the 15 minutes on our ride to lunch to be able to farm whatever the hell it is and see what's going on and get out and keep coming back and, oh yeah, fuck, I did that this morning and I need to go back and see what's grown. Like that sounds like a great time. Like that sounds like what I want from Animal Crossing that doesn't require a giant TV and I don't want to carry another device for if it's just me popping in to look for it. I wish they'd put a real release date on it.
Yeah, it's weird. They've always been weird with the release dates for these mobile games. I wonder why. I think it's because they want to, and we've seen this with the Nintendo's eShop as well. They're like down to the wire where they want to get it out as soon as possible once it's ready.
Yeah.
So they don't put the date out there because they're just like, oh fuck, it's ready now. Let's go. And they have the ability to have those marketing pushes. Because we saw with Fire Emblem Heroes, it was like a weird release schedule where it came out on Android first and then iOS later, but there wasn't ever really a date for iOS. It just kind of happened.
Yeah.
Mario Run was the opposite way where it did have a date, but then no one knew when the Android one was coming. It's weird.
We'll see. It's got to come soon. They say November. We're almost out of time. I hope it would be before Thanksgiving, but that'd be next week, which is impossible. Not impossible because it's mobile. Just push it out. Just push
totally
it out.
Could happen.
I hope they do. Where do I want to end the show?
One more.
I know. I'm trying to decide if I want Bipartisan Gamer or Anthony.
Oh, I want Anthony.
You want Anthony? All right.
Yeah.
Anthony wrote into kindoffunny.com/KFGD and says, hi, guys. With the announcement earlier this week that TMNT will be included as DLC for Injustice 2, surely this means that WB now holds the license to the Heroes in a Half Shell. Therefore, do you think that this could mean we'll see the long-rumored TMNT title from Rocksteady in the near future? Rumors surfaced about the game in 2012 and again in 2014, but haven't been discussed since. Would love to hear your thoughts. Thanks, Anthony.
I would give anything for that.
Yeah.
Fucking anything. It's not happening though.
No, I'm the exact same way. That would be awesome and amazing. I grew up with the Turtles. Turtles are awesome. I'd love to see Rocksteady's take on that and have it be like Arkham and have it all that fan service and all those characters and not like gritty, like horrible, but like a dark, like comics, like a grounded, darker Turtles. I think you're reaching a bit on that. Surely WB holds the license. Yeah, they licensed the Turtles for Injustice 2, but that's not a blank check from Nickelodeon to go do whatever the hell you want with the Turtles. Like that's a very specific deal.
Yeah.
And even if they did, I don't think that now means that, let's say Nickelodeon gives them the license, do whatever you want in the video games with Turtles, then you're looking at another 3 years before you'd ever hear from this Rocksteady game or play this Rocksteady game. That's not what's happening. Rocksteady's been working quietly on something. Rumors always seem to be something else in the Batman universe.
Yeah.
Let's see what the hell it's going to be.
You think it's going to be Game Awards?
No. But I just temper my expectations all the time now.
Yeah.
Because I'm sick of having my heart broken.
More reveals and announcements than ever before.
That's what Jeff says. Yeah. Exciting.
And prepare to be surprised.
I know. Well,
Please be excited.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm like, when we talk about anything we're announcing, we say the same stuff. I'm just like,
No, it's true. But I mean, people shit on the Game Awards all the time. And I'm like, I don't know why you're shitting on them in terms of reveals. There's been some huge reveals there.
Last of Us.
Yeah, Last of Us.
Yeah, that's all you need to say.
Cranky Kong in Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze.
Time to squad up. This is where one of you writes in to kindoffunny.com/KFGD. Give me your name, username, platform of choice, and why you need help in video games. I read it here. The best friends come and find you. Everyone plays games together and becomes the best community on the internet. This comes from Nick. He's on PC. His Discord is AwesomeNick, #1458. AwesomeNick, N-I-C-K, #1458 on Discord. I'm looking to run the raid Blind and Destiny 2 on Sunday around noon Pacific. If any best friends want to join, have avoided raid spoilers, and are ready for the challenge, add me on Discord.
You know it's a number sign, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
But it's just
Gotcha.
nowadays,
Totally
I'm
get it.
talking to the kids.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In my day, it used to be called the pound
sign.
The pound sign, all right? AwesomeNick, #1458. New segment for you.
Oh my God.
It's called Greg's Pie in the Sky Platinum. Matthew Molina writes in to kindafunny.com/KFGD and says, Greg, with Marvel Heroes shutting down at the end of December, do you have plans to try to platinum it? I just realized I only have a few more trophies left and want to get it before it leaves forever. Love everything you guys do. Thanks. I would love to do that. And I want to imagine there's a universe where I chip away at Marvel Heroes as I did, or as I have, for years and years, every so often, pop in, spend a weekend there, a Saturday there playing, having Jen make fun of the bad VO, and I get the platinum. But I am not going to have that kind of time to dedicate over the next month to getting this thing before it closes out. I would need to get, I think it's another 4. No, I think it might even be another 5 characters to level 60. Then I'd have to prestige one of them. I tried to cheat it with the Omega Prestige, didn't work. Then, of course, there's raid content, all sorts of crazy. I got to get all the loot boxes, or not all the treasure chests. It's too much. Can't do it, Tim. Won't do it. But I wish you well in your quest, sir. Tim?
Yes.
It's time for kindafunny.com/you're wrong.
It is. A bit of editorializing today, but I'm going to allow it because I agree with the statements.
Here we go.
Or I disagree, and I want to tell you you're wrong. K-Babs says Ubisoft's Club Ubi gives you challenges to complete in Ubisoft titles for in-game rewards, badges, Club XP, like with PSN profiles and discounts in Ubisoft Store. And also says, I don't think Portillo has the insight, expertise, and integrity to be co-host of Kind of Funny Games Daily. He's also a dog.
Well, you're also a kebab, so nobody's listening.
Damn. And then Emma Keb says, feels wrong correcting lyrics, but Tim's saying, are we human or are we dancers? The correct lyric is actually, are we human or are we dancer? Singular. It makes no sense grammatically, but if we can't respect the works of the killers, what can we respect?
All right, that's a great point.
See, it was that last sentence that I was like, we're going here. Wow, Greg.
I'm going.
Number 1 NPD. This comes from Griffey D-Pad for the last 12 months.
Of last year?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Was Call of Duty Infinite Warfare.
Wow.
That's shocking.
Yeah, people love that Call of Duty. You could put it on toast and people would eat it. I had toast this morning.
A
lot of editorializing this one?
No, it's a lot of people correcting us on the same things, which I appreciate.
I mean, I appreciate it, but you can read the thread. You'd see what other people have corrected us on. Are we human?
Chapel Zero. This is important. You're wrong. The Golden Joysticks you mentioned and said were not Games Radar. Golden Joysticks are 100% Games Radar's Golden Joysticks.
Why are they? Is Games Radar in London?
Isn't it?
There's an office in San Francisco. I mean, maybe it's just their US one.
I'm pretty sure Games Radar is based over there.
All right.
Mario 3D says you missed one thing from the NPD because we didn't go this far down. How the 2 Bethesda titles performed in their debut month. Evil Within number 13, Wolfenstein number 14. Does not include digital.
Yeah, we didn't. Yeah, it was down there. I think the fact they weren't in there shows you.
Cuphead was $20.
Bears.
Griffey D-Pad.
Did we say it was more than that?
I said 15 or 20.
Okay.
NFL 2K5 launched at $20. And yes, it was a better game than Madden 05. We're going to a second page here.
Oh my God, we fucked up this show.
It's all over. It's all done. Wrap it up, folks.
Fuck the dark side of the moon. I'm with you, Kev. Oh, you mean a Mario? Yeah. Yeah. Or what? Are you to the challenge tower? Yeah. Yeah.
Is there anywhere else? Isn't it just the challenge tower?
I mean, I'm not gonna spoil the game for you.
Cool.
How many times have you tried the challenge tower? Are you going in there with 3 hearts or 6? Do you know where to get it? You want me to give you some live FAQs like you just called the Nintendo helpline? You ready? Yeah. This isn't spoilers.
1-800-255-3700.
1-800-CARS for kids. When you respawn on your next death and you start outside, throw your hat on all the stone like stems off the stone apples and shit. And like I think it's the top one gives you another one of them big hearts, and you get 6 and you go in there. And if you can't beat it with 6 hearts, I want you to sell your Switch and never come back here. If you didn't know, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Kinda Funny Games Daily, each and every weekday on a variety of platforms. We run you through the nerdy video game news you need to know about. We have a good time. Twitch.tv/kindafunnygames, YouTube.com/kindafunnygames, podcast services around the globe. Thank you as always for your support. Next week on Monday, Tim joins me.
I do.
Also worth noting, only 2 shows next week, Monday and Tuesday.
So be thankful.
It's Thanksgiving here in America. So Wednesday through Friday, we off. We playing games. Geneviève Saint-Onge Miller can't get away from me. Bobby's playing games too. Don't talk to me. Oh, don't do the you did the sexy eyebrows. There they are. All right, cool. Well, guys, I gotta go. It's been a pleasure serving you.